Hey everyone, Siobhan here, and I'm taking you on a journey, chapter by chapter, through my first book, The Absence of Evil: Love's Reclamation of the Soul. And today we're going to talk a little bit about chapter 1. Now, like everyone, when we come onto this earth plane, we're pretty much what the title of this chapter sums up. So chapter 1 is titled Starry-Eyed. And the reason that I picked that for myself is because I've seen footage of myself as an infant. And I have this picture. It didn't make it into my book, but here we go. Let's see if we can get a good focus on that. There we are. So eyes like saucers. And I didn't get into my body for probably, let's get a focus on here. I didn't get into my body for probably, let's bring this camera into focus again. There we go. For probably the first year. And it's kind of funny because the 8mm reels that we used to have back then, the film, I've seen those. And my Nana used to try to get me to engage. And she's Siobhan, and she'd come up and she'd put her hand in front of my face and all these things. And I was just like out there. And like all of us who have the courage to take on form and come back into this dualistic reality, we're just absorbing everything. Negative emotion, all kinds of emotions. We're absorbing the emotional energy around us. And from the time we're conceived till the time we're about 8 years old. And so it's the unhealed things of mom and dad. It's the negativity in our environment, you know, the surroundings that you're in and all these things. And it's also the la dolce vita of everything, right? So it's the sweet gestures like my nonna. It's the remembering the breeze and the air at that time in the San Francisco Bay Area. It was just so beautiful back then. There was hardly anyone around. You know, this was 61. And the Bay Area was a much different place back then, but it was beautiful. And so when we talk about baptism, right, I was baptized within a week, just to make sure, and absolved, if you will, or, you know, cleansed of original sin. The only thing I can think of, and I've never looked up a technical, you know, literal definition of it, but to me, original sin is simply them trying to bless you and cleanse you from duality, because duality is the only source of any sin. Negative emotion is the source of all division within your mind and your heart. So here we are, these little infants that are here just absorbing negative and positive energy, because that's what this reality is. And that's our experience of it until we wake up and decide that this isn't really the truth. And you'll find out about how that has happened for me over the years in the chapters that follow. But it's a really nice look into how I felt back then, and actually see films of myself so not present to this earth. And it's nice when you know and experience your inner world, your world that is beautiful on the inside, but nobody can get in unless you let them in, unless you want to create them as part of that world, unless you want to let them in. And some people think it's a dreamy state, and some people think you're ADHD because you're not focused on what the world explains to you is real and what they want you to be focused on. But I'll tell you, it's the place that all great manifestations are derived from. You know, it's really a pure state of creation. But when you're an infant, you're just subjected to this reality, and it manifests into other things as you grow. And so we'll talk more about that in the second chapter.